Hi, welcome to FingerNailFixer video. Please forgive the background noises. This video was filmed in quarantine and I do live on a farm. For this video, let's play with alcohol inks. We're going to start off with a black nail. Complete the black nail in your system of choice. I happen to use shellac, so this nail has been done with black pool in 2 layers and completed with top coat. Once you've completed your system with the gel polish of your choice, go ahead and apply the tack-free top coat that you like. Come in and apply your favorite chrome. Use the chrome method that you prefer. And then give it a good scrub to get it nice and shiny like a chrome nail should be. Once you have your nice shiny chrome nail, we're going to do something crazy. We're going to apply matte top coat. And here's where I like to keep the system together for the artwork. Since I'm going to be using profile inks from Profiles Backstage, you can find a link in the caption. I'm going to use Profiles Matte Top Coat because I want to keep the artwork systemized. Once the chrome is applied and scrubbed in, I would just apply my matte top coat that goes with the inks that I'm using. And that's just a personal preference. If you have a matte top coat that you prefer, go ahead and use your favorite matte top coat. I just wanted to keep the system together for the artwork because I'm weird like that. Place that in the lamp to cure on the setting that it needs to cure for the lamp that you use. Once that's cured, you're ready to start playing with the alcohol inks. For this design, we're going to do a skull. And I'm going to use the blueberry because I love blue. You can absolutely do this in whatever color makes you happy. I'm going to wipe the brush off pretty good because I'm actually going to try and roughly draw the skull. So I'm going to kind of go a little bit roundish for the top. And then kind of swipe in a little smaller at the bottom. And naturally it's not going to lay absolutely perfect, so be prepared for that. We're going to give that time to dry before we start trying to create our designs in it with the alcohol. I'm going to turn it sideways because it kind of gathered a little heavy in the curve of the nail. So if you have a client with a curvy nail, you want to make sure it's not running towards their skin too much. And then I'm ready to start playing in it. Oh, there's still quite a bit in here, so I'm just going to start pulling it towards so that it will dry. There we go. For this one, I'm using a smaller detail brush because you pick up quite a bit more of the alcohol in your brush than you realize. And I'm going to be really careful about making sure I dab the brush on the side of the dish to be sure that I'm not getting too much onto the ink when I'm trying to create the details of the skull. Coming in to create the eyes, start with a dot for placement. So that you see about where you want to put the eyes. Then come in and start to rub the eyes into place. And this is where a little bit of patience is required. It would be a lot easier to go in with a bigger dot of alcohol and just quickly get the eyes rubbed in. However, if you do that, it'd be really easy to end up with wonky eyes. So just be patient and slowly rub the eyes into place. You want them to be a little bit oblong as opposed to perfectly round. And you can angle them if you want. You can have them right across from each other if you want. This is your personal preference. It's your skull. Pull up a picture for inspiration. Look at a t-shirt, a sticker, whatever is the handiest for you. But remember to keep wiping your brush off and working at it a little bit at a time, because this is really easy to mess up. For the nose, we want a triangle-ish shape. So I'm going to start with a dot for placement, and then make a little bit larger dot, and then start pushing the corners out from the dot. And basically create the idea of a triangle versus trying to actually make a triangle. So his nose is more the shadow of a triangle than actually getting a perfect triangle in there. Now before I do the teeth, I want to kind of clean up his jawline. For that, I'm going to use a little bit larger brush because I am going to need more alcohol to really clean up this outside edge. You still want to be careful so that you're not totally flooding it and wiping it off the nail. And you'll notice I'm not pushing the brush right up against it. I'm letting the alcohol push up against it and clean it up for me. And it's creating that shadowed line that gives me the outline. Then I'm going to come around to this side and do the same thing. It's already pretty cleaned up on this side, so it's just a matter of smoothing it out. Now we're ready to do the teeth. Really clean your brush out. The teeth are really easy to mess up because they're so small. So I'm just going to come in with my brush and do little lines. And it's going to take several trips back and forth because I'm trying not to get too much alcohol at once. So this is a design that will take patience, which means you need to charge for it accordingly. If you wanted to go in and outline everything so that it was more crisp, you absolutely could do that. Or if you wanted to go in and add details like fractures in the bones and so on, you absolutely could do that as well. I'm a big fan of abstract style art, so I love the imperfection of the ink. Once the ink and the alcohol are both dry, you can either add your outlines and cure them or top coat. I'm going to add a little bit of some skull fracturing and some outlines just to kind of complete some detail. I feel like I want a little bit of what I'm going to call an eyeshadow look so that he's kind of a punk skull. Not eyeshadow, sorry, eyeliner. So I'm going to give him just a smidge of eyeliner. And then I'm also going to just barely highlight the outline of his nose and his teeth. So I'm not even doing a full outline. I'm just adding shadowy details. And then same thing up here. The ink happened to make like a really awesome varying shade of blue. So I'm going to come up here in this wicked cool blue and make a nice little skull fracture. Because I just couldn't resist. Because I really think that little bit of black for the skull fractures will set off that blue ink, as well as the holographic feature of the chrome underneath. And then to really make the edges of my skull pop, I'm just going to come around this side edge just barely, and not all the way. And then over here, instead of doing the top because the fractures are there, I'm going to do the bottom curve. So he has just a little bit of a pop of accent of that black to help really make his features stand out when he's all shiny and holographic. We're going to pop that into the lamp. And you would cure, if you've done the outlining in gel polish, you would cure your gel polish for the amount of time that you would normally cure it. I'm just blocking my art brush from being cured by the lamp while I clean it out in the alcohol. And then cleaning out my brush I was using in the alcohol inks. And quick cleaning off my palette. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Or if you have tutorial requests. Also, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel and be the first to know when new videos hit. When that is finished curing, we're going to apply the top coat. You can use whatever your favorite top coat is. I happen to use the shellac system, so I'm going to apply shellac original top coat. It's what I like to seal my artwork with. And top coat is like magic with alcohol inks over the top of chrome. It brings that sparkle out. And what I love about doing the abstract is the imperfections are what make it so cool. You can see the differentiations in the different levels of color. So you have multiple hues of color, and then you have the chrome backing behind all of it. And notice how just that little bit of black outline really brings everything out and makes the shine pop. So I'll slide that back in and let him finish curing. You'll cure it in your lamp for the amount of time that you would normally let your top coat cure, whichever top coat you use for the system that you're using. And then you will be good to go. I hope you have had as much fun creating an abstract skull with alcohol inks as I have. This was so much fun for me. And I actually have the perfect client in mind for this, for the next concert that she gets to go to when fun things like concerts start happening again. I hope that you will step out of your box and try some abstract art, especially with the alcohol inks. Keep your OCD in your pocket. Remember that the beauty of abstract is in its imperfections, and just let it go. Don't try to fix the imperfections. Also remember to charge what you're worth. If you're taking your time to perfect a design, you need to be charging accordingly. Your time has value. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a good time trying this out.